Hello, welcome to another episode of 15. Luke and Dan are back here. And on today's episode,
Power to the
Dan,
people!
we're going to be hitting through a couple more films that we should have reviewed earlier,
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
but watched last year and could potentially be in a few top 10s.
Ooh, coulda, woulda, shoulda, top 10 edition. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Ooh.
So the three films we're going to be touching on are Wonka,
Of the Willy variety.
the Saltburn, which is on everybody.
Of the Willy variety.
And Fierce Camp. Well,
Of the Willy variety. It's actually, that works for all three.
um,
Because they're gay.
so we're going to start with Wonka. Dan, we both watched it in cinemas.
We did.
Where did you go and watch this? Describe it for me.
Showcase Deluxe offers a luxury experience for the comfortable theatre goer. Recline in our seats, dine from our award-winning cafe and restaurant, and take in popcorn that is simply delicious.
I went to watch this at my independent cinema because I care about.
We don't have one.
People myself, and it was heaving.
Oh, you
Absolutely
hate it when people are there.
I went on to book tickets, and it only showed me like a few seats, and I thought, oh, there must be an issue with their booking system online.
Yeah, that's what you take away from that.
And it wasn't. It was absolutely heaving.
Dogs just sat on me.
Oh, speaking of which, Dogs Are Sad on Us. You can watch us on YouTube, guys. You can go to YouTube and watch this in person.
And you can also find our other main episodes. What we are, who we are for those new listeners. We are 15. We review the first 15 minutes of 3 films.
Do we do
See
that,
which
though,
one?
Dan? Do we actually do that?
We do. Shut up.
We used to.
We review the first 15 minutes of 3 films. We choose one and we watch it in full, review it for you. See if you like it. Read along, watch along. Read? Who reads? Watch along, listen along with us.
Perfect.
But this time we're not doing that because we never do.
Humphrey is beguiled by you at the moment.
I'm a beguiling.
Let's jump into Wonka. This is a British film made by the guys that did Paddington, and it's all British actors, and it's all a big musical. Basically, this is Dan's wet dream. Dan,
I did enjoy it, yeah.
tell us about this film because I think it was horse shit. You start with some good stuff.
Start with some good stuff. I really liked this film. One thing I will concede with you.
What's
though,
the film about, Dan?
Willy Wonka.
Of course.
Chocolate.
But you can't.
Cork. No. So this, comes from the mind. One of the minds of Paul King. Well, he's the director, and Simon Farnaby of Horrible Histories. Is very much in the tone of Paddington 2. This kind of charming. No, Paddington 2. 5-star film.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about Wonka.
Yeah. So take that back. Very much kind of a British film, tailored to kind of British humour, British sensibilities. Now, I'm going to actually make a point of concession with you. The music for me, I didn't need.
Well, Dan, how deceptive was their marketing? Did anyone know this was a musical?
No.
I'd seen 2 trailers. I think they might have had some big dance scenes in the trailers, maybe, but I just think, it's a magical film idea. And the songs were incredibly tedious, far too often, and didn't do anything for the film at all.
Yeah, I would have had less exposition songs and maybe 1 or 2. So everybody kind of has compared this now to the original with Gene Wilder, and then the Johnny Depp one, which is widely considered dreadful. And on reflection, I probably agree. I think what makes the magic of Gene Wilder's version, the original, is that the music is less. There's, pure imagination, the mum song. Well, actually, there's quite a lot of music in it.
I'm about to say, it is music.
And I kind of remember having that realization in the cinema. But for me, it did hark back more to that kind of golden age, sort of magical realism of.
It's an incoherent mess.
It's not an incoherent mess.
It is a series of chaotic events that tumble into one another, and it's a non-thought out screenplay. I think barely any time was spent. I think this is such a rushed film, by the way. Incredibly rushed. Just chaotic event after chaotic event. All of a sudden there's a giraffe. It just like things just fall into each other that have no consequence, and I got unbelievably bored and angry. Now I will say I've got a few more bad points, but I want to give some nice ones. I will give it credit for the Dickensian double acts that are Tom Davis and Olivia Colman.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Well, not brilliant, but
I thought they were. I think they were really funny.
Guys, I have got Dan's back up. Let's go for this. Let's go for the jugular. Also, big issue is it's not remotely funny, Dan.
No, it's not hilarious, but it is.
But Matt Lucas is incredibly funny, isn't he?
No, I do not like Matt Lucas. I could tolerate him.
Have you seen what he's been getting in this? Because obviously here you kind of think, I don't like him. I don't know who likes this guy. But he did some funny things about 20 years ago. Yeah. However, America don't have that.
Right.
So some of the reviews have been pretty scathing of Matt Lucas. Could have done a nice guy.
No, I don't like Matt Lucas. It's true. But I like Matthew Bainton. And
I like Matthew Bainton. I don't like him in this.
Fair enough. And who's the other one?
The guy from Peep Show who plays Mark's boss in Peep Show. I don't know the name of him.
I just felt a bit racist not knowing him.
Well, yeah, not entirely sure his name. Yeah, like I said, I felt it was. I don't think someone spent a year on this screenplay. Let's put it that way. I think someone got attached to a project and had a couple of months to finish off a draft. Boring and incredibly formulaic. The biggest issue I had that with this time is Wonka himself, played by Timothée Chalamet, which we probably should have said, has no personality. He has nothing memorable to him. And the thing at the start, you kind of have these little odd moments, these little curiosities. However, they disappear as the film goes on, and he almost becomes like a passenger in this film because they're so obsessed. It felt very musical in theatre to me. How there were so many scenes where everyone gets a line. I said this, and then I said this, and it jumped to me. I popped up in the window, and I think this, and isn't this magical? No, it's shit, and the film is crap. I was really angry during this film.
Yeah, I can really tell.
Honestly, and the issue is everyone was loving it. I was in a packed cinema and they were going, isn't this great? Isn't this what cinema should be? No, this is shite. This is what shit is. So going too far. I didn't like it that much.
Well, I think you did. Gosh, really got your goat. I think this film, isn't groundbreaking. It's not particularly original. That doesn't mean it's as bad as you've just described.
Mm-hmm. Some films just get stuck in your core.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear you. Yeah, I can take those points and I can see why to you they would frustrate you. For me, I think it was an enjoyable experience.
Did you not get angry, Dan? Did you not make you angry? Why was I
didn't
so
make me
angry? I thought
probably because you'd been on a run and been swearing at the wind 20 minutes before you got to it.
I did have.
You probably hadn't eaten for 2 days.
As you can tell,
you were watching a film about chocolate.
I've been running, guys, and I ran into a gale today and started swearing uncontrollably at the wind. But
so I can also see that criticism and how that would stand up on about the screenplay. I thought the dialogue, though, in this actually was quite funny. I thought there were some moments of British humour, and it wasn't laugh out loud funny, and it was nowhere near
funny, wasn't it?
It was nowhere near as kind of offbeat or as acerbic as films. Films we saw today, in fact, at the time of recording. But I do think it had a sort of warm thread through it. It was an enjoyable afternoon. It's not that long. It moves pretty quick.
There we go. That's a positive.
So, I enjoyed this film. I didn't mind Timothée Chalamet. I thought the ensemble was fun.
So we're talking about Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant wasn't in it enough for me. Wasn't in it enough for me.
Oh, right, yes. I think everything else was in it too much.
Hugh Grant is always playing himself in every film he does now, and has done probably for the last 10 years.
I know. Did you see that thing that went viral? Was it the Oscars last year? It was at some awards ceremony. It was on a red carpet. He was just a miserable bastard. It was really quite funny. It was probably a bit too far. But he was just that character. And I thought, well, that's maybe not a character. That's just Hugh Grant.
Yeah. It was good, but it's good value for money.
Very value for money. Well,
Tom Davis and Olivia Colman probably steal the show. I'd agree with you there. Timothée Chalamet, actually, that's probably a fair critique that he was a bit of a passenger in this film.
He was boring. But Johnny Depp, say what you will, but Johnny Depp was the star of that film. Maybe he went maybe because it was too weird. Actually, one thing that film did do over Tim Burton that was completely lacking here, and there's something that really wound me up, is I loved Roald Dahl growing up.
Yeah.
Loved it. And I used to like dark stories for children and that sort of twist of horror, not horror, so to speak, but you know what I mean, sort of terror, I guess.
Yeah. There's jeopardy.
There is no weird, dark characters in this. Yes, there's the Keynesian duo who've been like put up on that come from a theatre production, who are fine, who they Colman and Tom Davis, they are good.
But the
But
jeopardy doesn't feel there.
The three villains don't have any darkness to them.
No.
It doesn't feel like there's any stakes there at all.
And interestingly, what I have read about this film normally is in relation to Gene Wilder's performance, and what they say is every line says the reason why Gene Wilder's performance works is you do think at any moment he could kill you.
Kill him. Sorry, at any moment he could kill you.
Yeah, he'd let Augustus Gloop drown.
Oh, right. Sorry. Let you before your fate.
Yeah, he's kind of. I suppose Willy Wonka in that situation is an instrument of fate, isn't he? And I suppose when you read Roald Dahl as a book, you're following it. It's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's Charlie's experience through it. So to focus on Wonka, again, it shows you that there's no original stories anymore in cinema. It's all just taking characters that we know and love and cash cowing them out. I didn't mind this as much as you. I enjoyed it. Do I think it is worthy of accolade? Probably not. No.
Good. Let's get to some stars now.
Okay. What do we want to talk about next?
No. I want you to give that a star rating.
I think I did. Let me consult my letterbox, and you too can follow us on Letterbox, sponsor of this podcast.
Our letterbox handles, so to speak, our links, profiles.
I give it 4 stars.
Give that 4 stars.
So perhaps on reflection, I need to revise that.
That's obscene. That is probably your top 5 from last year's film for you. Okay, I give this 2 stars. I gave it 2 because it was relatively well put together, and there's the foundations there of decent filmmaking. I don't think I give it any more than that because I genuinely hated it.
What did you give The Killer?
4 on reflection.
There you go.
What, you think Wonka's as good as Killer?
Yeah.
Well, guys, that is going to be a hot topic in our top 10 rundown in a month's time. I cannot wait. I'm going to sharpen my knives for that. Dan, next. We probably should have done this earlier because this has taken the zeitgeist by storm. It's the #1 streamed film on Amazon Prime. Don't know if that's true. Just heard
Chicken Run Down the Nugget?
Nope. We're doing Saltburn. I was so excited for this film, Dan.
Yeah, I was as well.
Me and you were, as we both put Promising Woman as our best film of 2021.
We did.
Emerald Fennel's debut.
Yeah. I didn't realise Emerald Fennel was who Emerald Fennel is.
Yes.
Absolute revelation to me. I mean, I liked her.
Yeah.
But I didn't realise she was... I've seen her in loads of stuff. Call the Midwife.
She didn't Call the Midwife, I think I read that.
I was thinking more from The Crown.
I've seen that either.
Well.
Tory TV. So, Saltburn,
You're a fucking Tory.
Saltburn tells the story of Barry Keoghan.
Well, yeah, so it's not Barry Keoghan, it's Keoghan.
Barry Keoghan. Barry Keoghan's character...
Whitewashing history.
Who has got into Oxbridge. Is it Oxford or Cambridge?
Oxford. Oxbridge is both universities.
Yes, I know.
You wouldn't know because you didn't
go. Apartment 2. He got into Oxford and he becomes slightly obsessed with Jacob Elordi's character, who's a bit of a toff. Quite
a hot toff.
And he...
Before I'd give him one.
Resides in their manor, Saltburn, stately home
for the summer. That's right. And that's it. Pretty good. Watch it.
I thought this was devilishly good.
Oh, devilishly is the word. Deviled eggs. So I'm going to start with a kind of debunk for me.
Yeah.
I don't think this film, it sounds like a criticism, it's not, because I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was brilliant. But this film does not have anywhere near the scandal, salaciousness, shock that the internet, the internet tells me it does. Everybody's like, oh, it's awful. Oh my God, have you seen it? Oh, I was so disgusted. Like, what? Grow up,
guys. If you hadn't guessed already, and I'm sure you had, licking cum out of a bathtub is just another
second nature. Slurp away. I've got a straw, dear.
I think we can do spoilers because this has been out for 2 months, so we can jump into it.
And all of the major, gratuitous moments were spoiled by the internet.
Do you know the grave scene was
improvised? Yeah,
improvised.
Amazing. As a tour de force performance, shows how good this is.
So what was he going to do?
I guess just cry.
Oh,
he probably thought it was a bit boring.
What to say? Maybe
he didn't know the cameras were rolling.
If you pack in like Barry Keoghan is
fuck what you want.
Well, no. That's how people get into trouble. Having a Rolf on our hands. Did Rolf rape anyone? I thought this was a day like Rolf Harris. Did he just pretend a blind eye to other people being raped?
No, he did. I don't think any raped
say allegedly,
anyone.
Dan. Let's say allegedly in there, please.
Allegedly.
Thank you.
He's dead, isn't he?
Did he die? I think he's just in prison, isn't it?
No, he died. He came out and he died. I'm sure Rolf Harris is dead.
Hold on one sec. Alexa, is Rolf Harris dead?
Rolf Harris died at his home from neck cancer and old age.
Neck cancer. Shouldn't laugh at that, but I mean, neck cancer.
Can't happen to a nicer guy.
He's dead. Oh, Alexa, shut up, bitch. She always has a disapproving swearing.
Oh,
Oh, there he is. Jacob Elordi again. When you said debunked, I thought you were going to say detrunked. About him. So let's talk about this film.
We don't want another Rolf on the hand. What I conclude
talking about. So what I like about this film? God, I saw this film 9 weeks ago.
Should I start?
Please.
So, good luck editing this.
One take.
So, devilishly, I think is a really good word to use because what did you say?
Thank you, I nicked it. I didn't. It's actually the only piece of criticism I've got is one word for this film.
Devilish.
Good. It's
Lagoon.
hyphenated.
Legume, did you say? Imagine if that was a
Good.
legume. So devilishly is the word I would use for this film. Tonally, it's kind of very dark. There's lots of kind of.
It's a thriller.
Yes.
Thrill. You're right now.
I've just remembered. I have quite a big criticism of this film.
Let's hold off on that.
Yeah, no. But I want to say what I'm trying to say is tonally, it's really nice, and
nice.
Like it's devilish. It's kind of black lace. Yeah, no, but I'm trying to say articulate that and not sound like a fucking retard. That it's black lace and reds, and it's kind of dangerous. And myself.
Oh, well, touche.
Legume.
So this film, what did I enjoy? So it's a thriller, but it's not.
We've got to start Saltburn again. This is absolutely
This is one of our best ones. It's one of our better.
No, just the bit about.
No, it's one of our better ones.
We said the word legume. Is Rolf Harris dead?
It's an educational podcast. He had neck cancer. Who knew that? Who knew that neck cancer?
You could get cancer.
No, this is one of our better reviews, definitely. So I would say I liked how the reveals, they weren't afraid to chuck them in the second act. You know what I mean? Rather than holding everything back to the end and chuck them in the second act. Then they had one big one at the end, which we're going to come to, which might completely just scup everything else. But let's just hold off on that review just yet. I enjoyed the aesthetic of the film.
Yes.
What I've quite liked as well is the irreverent nature that was found in the trailer, and all the marketing bled into the film. Like, it was exactly how you expected it to be. It was a cool film.
Very cool.
And some of the casting was fantastic. Rosamund Pike, as always.
Yeah,
very sexy.
Richard E. Grant.
Richard Grant's incredible.
Captivating.
Harry Mulligan, very good.
Casting, I want to kind of mention. I thought Jacob Elordi was brilliantly cast in this role. I thought.
Did you enjoy anyone?
Yes. You know who you are. He was just captured that university kind of fop really well. And it's a kind of part of life that I think is quite hard to capture. This kind of burgeoning on, you think you know who you are, but you also don't. Yeah. You're a child, but you're a man.
But even just capturing university in an authentic way was exceptionally well.
And it felt, and actually that's a great word to use. This film did feel really authentic.
Well, until he starts murdering everyone and dances with his cock swinging around.
Yeah, and then it's just counted.
There's really Tuesday.
Very good. The performances, as you mentioned just there, were really
9 times.
Yeah, fantastic.
Devilish.
Emerald Fennel's direction, I thought, was really strong as well. I thought
it was good. I think it was amazing.
Well, there's other parts that I would critique of this work that she had a hand in. And that would
big meat slab of a hand.
Like
she's got very big hands. She's the kind of woman because her face is quite big. You can tell I'm going off people. She's the kind of woman. She's got a very big face. I imagine
quite square.
Yes, but very big chin. I don't want to speak, but big chin, like sort of Buzz Selector-esque.
I have a big
chin.
Core.
So, sorry, I
Big
just seen a
hands.
picture of Rowan Atkinson for some reason on your laptop, and it's just run me. What's that in regards to?
Wonka,
Who was he? Wonka?
the priest.
Oh, he
With
was
the
okay, actually.
He was
He stole James Acaster's girlfriend.
good.
I like James Acaster.
Well, I came to Lancaster too.
The more the merrier. Threesome, devil threesome, devilish.
Deviled eggs.
Yes. What else did I enjoy about this film? The twist was quite good.
Which twist do you mean?
The reveal that he is not from the background that he said he was.
Oh,
was
yes.
slightly-
And that's actually great because we probably pride ourselves a little bit too much on we normally pretty good at seeing where the film's going.
Mm.
I didn't see that at all. That completely escaped me. And when he started driving up, I thought, oh my god, shit, this is what this is.
I wish you'd watch your language.
Potty mouth. But apparently that was glaringly obvious to other people who'd watched it.
Apparently so.
So, I guess the film enthralled me enough as I was watching it. And actually, that's what this film is. It's very beguiling. Performances, the aesthetic.
Draws you in. I was sat there and I remember it's sometimes you come out of some experience when you're looking around the screen and you catch yourself watching a film. And I was just like, I'm just adoring this film. I can't wait to see where it goes. I was also getting quite a lot of joy out of the fact that I brought my fiance and her sister,
Heavily pregnant
sister, who was this is definitely not her cup of tea, and I can tell she wasn't enjoying it, which made me enjoy it all the more. Dan, however, you thought the reveal that this man is a serial killer with premeditated motives undermined his character and made him slightly less interesting.
I think it undermines his character, correct, and because of that, I think it undermines the film. It stopped being a thriller for me at that point and became kind of a murder mystery. Well, not even that, just a murder
New genre,
murder thing, whatever that is.
Yeah,
I think a far more interesting film is, as a character study, is looking at Barry Keoghan and how he is obviously sociopathic, but it kind of puts the onus more on this is a kind of satire on class,
which it is.
But Emerald Fennell's also kind of struggled to describe this film in a lot of interviews, and I think
a big face getting in the way.
But I think that's because it kind of lacked a clear ending, and because she wrote the screenplay, right? So it lacked that clarity of what it wanted to be, and that I think is typified in the ending, which feels a little bit rushed. And it's like, how do I conclude this really interesting story? I know I get him to kill people, and it just kind of undermines everything. This idea that it's all premeditated, I think, takes a lot of agency. Or appreciate it's putting agency on Barry Keoghan's character, but I think he is just as confused, just as unsure about his emotions and his feelings, it's particularly towards Jacob Elordi, but towards this world more generally. And by making it, he just was killing his way to get to the top. I think it kind of really kind of underpins this film, it kind of diminishes this film.
I do just want to kind of, before we jump off, because we need to jump onto theatre camp in a second.
Yeah.
But there were so many parallels for this between this film and Talented Mr. Ripley for me.
Yeah.
And I adore Talented Mr. Ripley. I think it's a very good film. I think it's a better film than this.
Yeah.
But the parallels are all the way there. It's a class struggle. It's a slightly stiff man going into a world of someone that's alluring, and there's these homoerotic feelings all the way through it. You've even got the Philip Seymour Hoffman-like character that knows the Matt Damon or Barry Keoghan, whatever character you are, is out of place, so to speak, and he's waiting for them to slip up and can't wait to relish in that. That's going all the way through. And then it also starts to descend into this person is actually quite dangerous, and he's a psychopath, and he's murdering people. However, Talented Mr. Ripley is a better film than this.
And I think the reason for that is because it's set when they're all slightly older. So the kind of the crime, the maniacal, the kind of deliberate, intentful way of going about that crime feels more real, whereas the university kind of that we really enjoyed in this film kind of, I think that's the more interesting film to talk about, these characters unsure, discovering these emotions, not being so premeditated with it all. That said,
I didn't mind that. I like a good thriller.
I thought the ending shot with Sophie Ellis-Bextor was brilliant.
I didn't see her in it.
And kudos to Emerald Fennell for kind of her direction throughout. So that's what I mean, what I said earlier. Her direction I thought was brilliant through. I didn't think her screenplay kind of held up to some of the kind of scrutiny that this film kind of is going to get. And I think that's a shame, because I think the film is beautiful, and I think it was really thrilling up to that point. And when it did that, when that reveal came and it was all premeditated, I thought, oh, that's kind of cheapened it for me.
I completely agree that this sort of balletic dance that evokes like euphoria of his plan coming together, accompanied with Murder on the Dance Floor by Sophia Spector, was a very nice capping way to this film, and it was very much keeping. And once again, it's very much a memorable. These sort of films that capture the zeitgeist have to have these big memorable scenes, and although you think they might not be as salacious as other people do, they're still capturing the attention of other people. And I think it's a good film. Dan, this is a 4-star for me, with a high 4-star. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think so. 4-star for me. Yeah.
Perfect. We're going to move on to Theatre Camp. Dan, can you give us a little bit of a lowdown on Theatre Camp? So I came across this because I saw it popped up in a few people's top 10s. It's currently on Disney Plus if you want to watch it. I should also say Saltburn is on Amazon if you wanted to watch that, and Wonka is shite, so don't watch that. However, Theatre Camp is on Disney Plus, and it is written by 4 people and co-directed. Now, one of the co-directors is the lead actress who's also in is it Sarah Rooney, the author that did Conversations with Friends, the book I've read? Is she the one that did Normal People? Is it what's the name of it? Sally Rooney.
Sally Rooney.
Her second novel, or first novel, Conversation with Friends.
Yeah, the girl who was in the TV adaptation of that,
which directed by Benny Abraham.
Oh, she's the sister.
Oh my god, she's in both. I'm almost getting confused. Yeah, she's in both. Click on her just to check. Yeah, she's also the sister in Saltburn who commits suicide. That's a spoiler. Hope you've seen the film. She's very good in it. However, she wrote this, and this is a mockumentary about a theatre camp. I believe it's in Maine or somewhere in America, and the matriarch of the theatre camp is become unwell, and so her slightly entrepreneurial but idiotic son is taking over, and it's setting up towards a big production. And this is great fun.
Fantastic. So my girlfriend tried to watch this and turned it off, and at your recommendation we rewatched it, and we were so glad that we did.
This was sort of your street then.
Proper belly laugh film for me, with some absolutely brilliant moments. One of the things I think is a triumph in this film is the scale at which it operates. Everything felt really kind of at level for what it was. So I think a different film and a worse film would have the big production they're building towards at the end, as you kind of talked about, would have made that kind of all bells and whistles. It was quite shit. It felt like kids were putting it on for their parents. It was very in keeping, and all the way through the stakes for this film were quite low and very in keeping with the place, the setting. But because of these kind of over kind of caricature style characters and the way they were played, it kind of, that was where the humor was. It was very much tongue in cheek. It was a side swipe at this this kind of type of person, the theater goer, the theater performer, but it was a side swipe made by the people, so it was kind of very self-aware in the most positive way.
Yes, keep going. Can't remember it.
The performances, you know, they're an interesting one because they are very caricature. Do you take from that? That's deliberate.
Well, in comedy, you kind of have to be to find the context for the audience. That's it.
I agree, and they did that kind of perfectly. I didn't think there was a kind of dud note. Every character felt very rounded, even if it was a picture postcard of what that character should look like. The overtly flamboyant makeup director or the dance teacher, the kind of henpecked camp manager, but the quiet, mousy stage technician who just wants to shine. I mean, nothing was new. We know these characters so well, but they were just performed excellently.
I'd be very surprised if the writers, as I say, there was 4 of them, including the 2 co-directors, weren't huge fans
and starred in it as well, right?
Yeah, weren't huge fans of prominent irreverent sitcoms from the noughties. This felt so like Arrested Development.
Yeah.
So a little bit of the US Office in there as well, and just in the way it did storytelling, like it's more than happy just to keep finding you a solution and just jump to that as long as it's funny.
Yeah,
which I adored.
Definitely, very heartwarming, very charming. like the kids, you normally despise child actors.
Yeah, but these were playing child actors who were meant to be annoying and loud.
Yeah, and they had some of the funniest moments for me. The big fat gay one. I mean, that's just a funny character.
Why is it funny?
Because he's
He's
fat.
funny, sorry. Yeah,
Because he's fat and gay.
he's gay. Yes,
It's funny. The kind of precocious children. There's a line in it where they're holding, or a moment in it where they're holding a dinner, and I suppose that's what comedy or joke, isn't it? Something that's funny is two levels that are operating simultaneously, but can be working against each other. And there's a moment where they're having this dinner, and the guys are supposed to be having like a very kind of formal dinner, and this must be 8-year-old. She goes, would you like a bread roll? Would you like how my child was murdered? Shit like that. That is funny.
because they're looking to act, by the way.
Yeah, they're all kind of upcoming, and moments where I need help with my characterization. Right, what are your allergies? Just the Gary Oldman, actually, really interestingly, we were sharing videos, weren't we, talking about his direction from Christopher Nolan.
Oh yeah.
And there's this moment in Batman where Christopher Nolan, who apparently isn't a very good note giver, says there's more at stake than that. That was the only note. And Gary Oldman says, that's brilliant. I don't need to know the backstory. I don't need to know 12 pages of this character. I just need to give it more energy. And that is coming from, as an actor, a very practical way. I just need to shout this bit or whatever it is. This kind of pokes fun at the complete inverse of that, which is, I know everything about my character. I've thought about him. I've got brain maps. I've got a whole wall with his allergies, his family history, his relation to his grandfather, and how that influences that one line that he says at 20 minutes into the film.
Yeah.
Like it's poking fun at itself all the time, but it doesn't ever become too self-aware.
And I guess that in terms of tension, it moves along with the tension, I guess. And the two things of tension here are, will the theatre camp manage to stay open now that it's in the hands of this entrepreneurial son? And also the other big one is the two, I guess, the main characters. We've got the artistic director
And the
music
music
director, and they had this shared dream of, we never quite made it as big as we don't care. It's all about the children. That's what we actually care about, and we can only go as a double act.
Yeah,
and it has that tension. Has she outgrown him in that relationship?
We watch it and find out.
It's very good. Also, 90 minutes, can't beat a 90-minute banger.
Zippy,
Funny.
I
would say one minor thing, which actually, the film I watched right after this, it was Indiana Jones 5.
Okay.
Which is not good. However, it's a weird one to watch straight after it, because a criticism I had of Theatre Camp was it wasn't cinematic. I mean, this easily could have just been a TV show, sitcom, and it wouldn't warrant a cinema trip at all.
No.
However, and Indiana Jones is incredibly cinematic, and it feels very much like a picture, so to speak. This doesn't quite have that. However, it's low budget. I can sort of accept that, and it's shot in a mockumentary style.
Yeah, I think it hits its mark for me on that, because it's that mockumentary. What's the one with about the Crufts with
that's the Chris Guest one. Chris Guest film. I know what you mean, but I don't know. Yeah, I know what you mean.
IT Crowd and that.
Yeah.
It felt like that, and that's brilliant.
Yeah, his back catalogue's amazing. Chris Guest, like Waiting for Golfman's and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah,
best in shows.
Best in show. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this.
This is a top. Well, it's holding on to my top 10. I really hope it stays there. This is a 4-star film for me.
Yeah, I agree, and it is a good comedy. I
think the comedies of the year.
The comedies of the year. This is, or just comedies of a long time. This is funny.
Yeah, and not as funny as Wonka though. Wonka was hilarious, wasn't it? Then?
No, I didn't say it was hilarious. Putting words in my mouth there.
Okay, Dan, we're going to wrap up. We're going to do 2 quick.
Back it in. Let me begin. Oh, sorry.
We're going to
wrap up that way.
So we've got 2 films from 2023 that neither one hasn't seen and is not going to watch. Dan, you're going to pick us off with Chicken Run Armageddon or Dawn of the Nugget or Armageddon.
Armageddon was the Shaun of the Sheep movie.
Who could forget? Lest we forget.
Who could forget?
Dan, Dawn of the Nugget, 2 minutes. Seriously, 2 minutes.
Okay,
off you go.
So I'm going to start not on the film itself, but I think this is more a criticism of Aardman. Aardman, when they were properly kind of animating this with stop motion in the old school days, it felt like the kind of craft was there, and because the craft was so strong and so important, the story had to kind of match. Now so much of it is digitized, or the production, the successes of their studio work has kind of elevated them, that they've got more people, whatever it is. I think it's cheapening the stories. This film didn't need to be made. Was it nice to revisit those characters? Yes. Was it weird to have a completely different voice those characters? Yes.
Bizarre.
Really
I
weird.
didn't think what Mel Gibson back though. I don't think what was the reason.
I don't know, but there's always an issue for me when kind of actors don't reprise their roles.
I think it was because of his unsavory anti-Semitic comments.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, but I think Chicken Run ended and it was kind of original. Well, it wasn't. It was just a great escape, but whatever. Done with chickens. But
that's a great pitch, by the way. Great escape with chickens.
Yeah, done. You sold.
Right,
But what works about that is the stakes are quite low. They're escaping from a camp, but it's only because they know the farm's going to, cut their head off and put them in a pie. This becomes super high tech. There's all laser beams and explosions and
gay. Is it gay scene in it, Dan?
no, there's no gay scenes in it. But I think the kind of
strange review I read.
The nuclear nature of Chicken Run works as it's the chickens versus the couple. It's very Wonka-esque. Not Wonka, Roald Dahl-esque. The moment you add a third-party security guard, if the chickens are beating a third-party security guard, the security guard's a bit shit. So let's kind of, the stakes are too high for the action that happens.
Cows.
What are you talking about?
Stakes too high.
You haven't seen it. That joke.
Thank you.
Walked into my butcher's.
Dodgy Butcher, as his meat delivered on the back.
Aye.
I thought this film was going to be about the morning routine of a paraplegic.
Chicken Run doing a nugget.
Correct.
No. Would have been funny if it had.
Not touching that.
Completely unnecessary, fun, fine, but not really worth critique.
2 minutes. Okay,
Luke, what's your film you're going to tell us about?
So I watched Air, which was you know about this one?
Nope.
Oh, right. This was the
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Starting now.
Nope, started already.
Oh, 2 minutes started already. This was the Matt Damon, Ben Affleck made film about Nike. And Nike, is that Nike? Because I say Nike all the way through there. Nike. About the efforts to franchise Michael Jordan, the most famous basketball player of all time, to make them join Nike.
So good they named him twice.
Correct. Set in the 80s, 83, I believe, and Nike were very small at the time, way behind Adidas and Converse, and trying to get him. Now, from the outside, this looks like a big advert for Nike, and this would be a boring film. However, it's actually really quite good. It's also an advert for Nike and Michael Jordan all the way through. Performances from Matt Damon, as always, fantastic. Viola Davis, very, very good.
Okay.
Plays the mother of Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan.
He pops up.
Ben Affleck, really good, very true and real to the source material. All the way through this as well. I would say in places it's a touch stale, maybe a little bit everyman. I feel like it could have gone a little bit deeper and it was one very simple, straightforward story, trying to an acquisition of a player. Is that the most interesting thing?
And time's up.
It's me as a sports fan, but maybe not for everyone. I would say it's a good film, 3.5 stars, worth a watch. Won't be in my top 10, but definitely worth a watch.
Okie doke. Thank you very much.
Dawn of the Nugget is a
2.5, 3, 2.5.
Perfect. That's it for us this time. We'll be back next time. We're going to be watching a couple bangers that could be a few more award season.
Sausage and Mash the movie.
Dawn of the Nugget. See you next time.
Ta-da.